Court has denied the state's request to halt habeas hearings for people who cannot afford a lawyer and were not provided with legal representation, a violation of their Sixth Amendment rights. The Kennebec County Superior Court ruled it will proceed with hearings to consider releasing defendants who have been jailed without legal counsel for at least 14 days, and to dismiss charges against defendants who have been denied a public defender for more than 60 days after their initial court appearance. In January, a Superior Court judge ruled the state denied the constitutional rights of many criminal defendants because of a lack of legal representation, which often came at critical stages such as pre-trial and bail hearing.